Hello, everybody. Welcome back to MorningLine. I'm filling in for Nick Barris this morning. We are happy to have with us Allison Fields, veterinarian, to answer any question you may have about your pets. Already some interesting calls. You know, specific time of year, the winter. There's some very specific things going on, specific questions to ask. This is your chance. Free advice on your pets. Free medical advice.
And one thing we didn't touch on when we talked about this time of year is that if you have pets that are outside, please make sure that they have sufficient protection from the weather and that they have water and food, obviously, but water will freeze and you put it in there, you know, and so then they, even though they have water out there, it's frozen solid and they can't drink it. You know, once it hits freezing, I really think that small animals, cats, dogs, need to come inside, at least the shelter of the garage, the laundry room, something like that, just because it is, you know, they're not used to that. I know that there's dogs in Alaska that live outside, but they're used to it. You know, that's how they live all the time. And we had 70 degrees at Christmas.
Right.
So, you know, this is a cold shock for their little bodies. So please make sure that their water is not frozen, that they have sufficient protection, whether it's an insulated doghouse or your garage or something like that.
So if you have a German Shepherd, again, that's a dog that is a bigger dog and has some fur on him. But he lives here. He doesn't live, like you said, in Alaska.
Right.
He's going to be used to the conditions here.
Right.
And so think about that.
Right.
32 would be a good time.
Yeah, I mean, and my dog loves the cold, and she'll stay outside and play all day long if we'd let her, because she thinks it's great. She loves the snow. But at nighttime, when it's even going to drop further, you know, let's get them in some protection so they can warm up, kind of recharge, get some good groceries, some non-frozen water, and be ready for the next day.
All right, let's go to Brian. Hello, Brian.
Hi, yes, I want to ask the doc, she knows Dr. Tracy at White Oaks Animal Hospital. He does a special line of food called Pet Towel. And then also, she knows she's familiar with it's a breed of cat called a chartreuse cat. I rescued Buddy about 2 years ago. He used to show up on my porch when I was outside, and, you know, he'd say hi. And then one day he showed up in his paw. He couldn't put it down. He had an abscess, so I fixed that. And then a couple different times he got out. I call him the $1,000 cat because every time he goes out, something happens to him. So now he's totally inside cat. And when he had the fights, he lost some fur under one part of his leg. I think it was a defensive wound because he's not a fighter. He's a big guy, 14 pounds, all muscle, low fat, but he will not defend himself. So he puts his paws up and he got bit. But the hair won't grow back on that part, and I think he still looks at. We've tried the little scented collar thing, and I just tell him when he goes to lick it, I go, no, nobody, and he stops. But I'm wondering if that hair will ever grow back. The doc said it's not that big of a deal, cosmetic, but I'm just wondering if that hair will ever grow back on his face.
All right, well, let's talk about that. Brian, thanks for the call.
That's really hard to say without seeing the cat and knowing his history really well. It may not. Sometimes we see scarring that takes place, that the hair follicles are damaged and we don't get hair regrowth. Sometimes eventually it does. But it's really hard to say. If he's not limping on it and he's not, you know, having a medical problem with that paw anymore, we may just say, you know, leave what's good enough alone.
And he brought up several things, really, inside versus outside.
Well, your average lifespan on a cat that is an outdoor cat is about 5 years. There's UPS trucks, the neighbor's dog, the foxes, the coyotes falling out of trees, getting their collars stuck on things and hanging. I mean, there's a lot of...
Well, that's horrible. Those are terrible.
But those are things that can happen. Now, you know, there are thousands and millions of cats that live outside and outlive that 5-year range, and that's wonderful. But that's about the average for an outdoor cat. And like he said, you know, every time he went outside, he was getting in trouble and costing him vet bills, which does happen, especially when you're the big guy on the block that won't defend yourself, and, you know, all you do is run and you get bites, and yeah. I see a lot of those cats too. It's very sad.
Well, yeah. So outdoor cat, and what's the lifespan of an indoor cat?
With an indoor cat, you're probably going to get around 15 years. barring some dread disease or, problem. But most indoor cats end up succumbing to renal failure because their little bodies are just not designed to live as long as we take care of them. We give them vaccinations so they don't get diseases. We protect them from the UPS truck and the neighbor and the neighbor's dog and the foxes and the coyotes and everything by being inside. And so we are allowing them to live a whole lot longer than they're designed to, but their little kidneys just can't. They have like a shelf life of about, 12 to 16, 17 years.
And are cats are they happier if they're outdoor cats? Or, do we know anything like this? Would that in some way enhance the quality of their life? Or?
I think if you have an outdoor cat and you try to force it to become an indoor cat, now his cat may be very happy to be indoors and away from the bullies on the block. But if you take an outdoor cat who has lived outdoors all of its life, it very well may not like living inside. That being said, I do know several cats that were outdoor cats, feral, nobody was their owner, and once they were brought inside, they are living the life of Riley. They're happy. They don't want to go outside again. They've got food brought to them. They've got room service.
It's not a bad life if you think about it.
No, they've got room service, cable. What else do they need? But
they could watch MorningLine.
Right.
They could ask the vet.
Yes.
So that's a good life.
I think it's very different. I think that if I lived in the country and didn't have nearby neighbors or roads, I would probably let my cats go outside because there's, they would have to deal with the wild predators, but they could get up a tree or something like that. But it's when we live in cities and we're congested and, 80-some people move to Nashville every day now. Go away. Go away. Quit.
That's a whole different topic.
That's a whole different topic. But my next door neighbor's very close. I live in Sylvan Park, but the traffic there is horrible, and I don't want to come home one day and find a splatted kitty in my front drive. So we have to pick our battles.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Brian, for that call. Let's go to Matilda. Hello, Matilda.
Hello.
Go right ahead.
My daughter's got a dog, and he's been fixed and everything, but he is punching on her legs, and then when she has company, he goes to them. And what does she do about that?
How old is he?
10 years old.
Oh, wow. Yeah. How old was he when he was neutered?
I guess about 2 months over, he's already fixed when she got him at the vet store.
Oh, okay. I don't know. That sounds like a little bit more behavioral than anything else. That's typically a dominance issue. And you may want to talk to your vet or even ask for a referral for a trainer to come to the house and help correct that behavior.
Oh, okay.
So a trainer?
There's not,
We're talking about a cat, right?
A dog.
Okay, dog. I'm sorry.
Although that is a funny visual with the cat.
Yeah, because I was thinking that wouldn't work, but I was still stuck on the last call. Okay, go ahead.
So I don't really know that it's something medical. It does sound more behavioral. And so there are plenty of dog trainers in the Nashville area who specialize in correcting unwanted behaviors, not just like a training class where you go to learn to sit and come and things like that. So you might want to look into that, but definitely talk to your vet first and make sure there is nothing else going on.
All right, we're going to take a break. If you want to call in, there is the number, 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. Your chance to call in and ask the vet any question you want. Take a break. Be back right after this.